Welcome, guys, to another breakthrough playoff game between SSG Tetris and Ignotus Imperium. I'm Snare from EA Gaming, joined by Saint D. How you doing, man?
It's all good, all good. We're getting started with a very, very busy Sunday of games, man. Hopefully this one will be good.
Now, SSG Tetris just coming back from a game with a very interesting game where Wally played the Tinker to good effect, but it just wasn't enough. And now we're gonna see if they can bring this back. Now, Klasnot, he hates the he hates the Nagasai and bans it out same time.
That's not necessarily something we get to see very often, seeing a Naga being banned out in the first phase.
Naga first phase ban that, and they ban out the Lycan as well. So they're like, okay, we want to at least have a banning out those heroes. Do you think they're gonna go first pick Tinker?
It could happen. I'm not entirely sure. The thing is, whenever you ban out Naga Siren, you clearly don't want the game to be delayed at any point.
Yeah, so that could be their plan. And now they take out the Doombringer and the faces went on the side of SSG Tetris. And now I'm happy they took out the Doom because, you know, fuck that hero. Wait as well, very first pick. But Jakiro first pick.
I am confused now. I see a Shakiro first pickup, and obviously it's a great pick, but I'm not entirely sure. Thing is, when you pick it in the first phase, you're still leaving out the Shaman, the Skyrath, the Tide, the Razor. It's a little bit weird seeing it being picked up in the very first phase, and we know most teams don't ban out the Shakiro anyway.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I mean, Jakiro's fallen down the picking order to the point where it's a surprise to see him.
Yeah.
So you can pick him last and no one would ever be the wiser. Picking him first, that, like you said, it leaves the pool very open for SSG Tetris. They can pretty much now do whatever they want. They could even right now pick up the first pick Silencer, which kind of crushes Jakiro.
Yeah.
So I'm not entirely sure what the plan is. And there we go. Like you said, the Shadow shall be picked up. And they might even pick up... Do you think it's going to be Tyrant or Death Prophet?
Tyrant, Death Prophet, anyone's really open. I mean... Oh, and they even pick up the Marana, which for all intents and purposes is probably going to be Shadow Shaman's support partner essentially, and that's a pretty strong support duo.
Very powerful support duo, and the Raid King being picked up by Ignotus Imperium. So Raid King, Jakiro, both very powerful heroes, but I'm not entirely sure either of them are first pick material, first phase yet.
Yep.
So now that they've led with this, do you think that's a support Raid King, or do you think you're going to be farming and then they still need another support?
I don't know, man. With the Jakiro, it's possible that this is rather a farmer as opposed to a support, because they don't necessarily make the best in terms of a roaming duo. So I'm not entirely sure it would be a support.
Yeah, I'm not sure about it, the support. It could be though, but probably going to be the farming one. And they ban out the Tinker, so they possibly were watching the previous game and they were like, okay, no, hell no, no more Wally Tinker. But Tinker's also one of those heroes you just hate playing against.
Yeah.
And how did you see this Tide Hunter being banned second phase without being picked?
It's not very often, and you might even see Razor being banned out. You might see Death Prophet being banned out as well. So it's very interesting that the way that the ban and pick phase is evolved in this particular match.
Ignotus Imperium really seeming to hate Wally. They banned his Naga Siren, his Tinker, and Invoker, and I know he can't play Lycan, so I don't know what he did, but they're removing all his heroes right now. Don't want to have the option for that.
Well, he is high
So
impact
now-
on those heroes, so you definitely don't want to be dealing up against with them.
Yeah, that's true. And Skyrath Mage, no Skyrath Mage, but now here comes the Razor.
Radiant team.
Pretty much a textbook draft right now from SSG Tetris. So
Yeah.
do you think Ignotus will surprise us more? Kind of, yep.
Dire team.
They're like,
Yeah.
we don't want Death Prophet, we don't want anything else, we just want the Lich. So do you think they're going team fight, or is this some sort of new strategy that they're going for? I'm not entirely sure. what they're doing right now.
I'm pretty sure they're going team fight, because all these heroes together are a decent team fight. I mean, you got Ice Path, Macropie, you've got the Chain Frost, you've obviously got Wraith King, who's a powerhouse in terms of team fights. I mean, once he reincarnates, that slow is a nightmare to deal with. So it seems pretty obvious that they're going for team fight. It remains to be seen if they want to diversify their lineup and go for something that's in the pushing realm.
Radiant team pick.
I wouldn't mind them picking up a Magnus for their mid lane, but with Batrider being picked up, this is gonna be really an issue for them. Batrider, if he managed to get a very good pick off, let's say picking off the Jakiro or the Wraith King in the fight, then there's no way that they can really stop him. They won't have any instant stuns to really catch him out. So I worry that it's going to be really impossible for Ignotus to deal with, but they pick up the Viper to try beat the Razor or the Batrider mid. We don't know which one is mid yet, or we don't know if they even have a mid hero.
Yeah, okay. We don't often get to see Batrider being picked up, but this is kind of the perfect lineup to be picking him into, aside from the fact that there's a Viper right now. Because if you get Jakiro in a teamfight scenario, if you get Jakiro, you get the Lich, you get the Wraith King, there might be a follow-up stun. I mean, there is the Wraithfire Blast, there is the Ice Path, depending on which one of those heroes you pick out. But you pick them off, and the chain of counter initiation coming out from Ignotus Imperium might actually be disjointed to the point where you can actually secure yourself a teamfight.
That's very true. Another thing that's actually a big issue for Ignotus right now is that once the Batrider jumps in, if he gets a very good flame break, right, and moves the heroes away, none of the heroes right now are particularly mobile. Until the Wraith King gets his Blink Dagger, they're not very mobile. They can't move around very quickly. So I think they should pick up a Centaur as their offlaner right now.
Yeah.
AA being banned out, so I'm not sure why, because it's pretty clear that Lich and Jakiro are the supports in this.
Yeah,
so I'm not entirely sure about the AA.
Yeah, they could be thinking Lich is offlane. We don't know, man. But I think looking at Ignotus Imperium, as you mentioned, the Centaur would be great for counter initiation and re-engaging. So I think that would be an amazing pickup for them, because right now, as you mentioned, they don't really have counter initiation as opposed to what SSG Tetris. I mean, you look at their lineup, they've already got the Miranda, so there's Moonlight Shadow for both re-engaging and disengaging.
You know, it would be traumatic if SSG were the ones who picked up the Centaur.
That would be devastating, actually. That would be quite devastating.
5 seconds remaining.
If they got that pick. I'm not entirely sure what Ignotus's draft is supposed to really accomplish in this game, because they don't really have that much push, and right now actually SSG Tetris' team fight is actually better than Ignotus' team fight. So I'm not really sure what is the end game for them at this point in time. So we'll have to see what they choose to draft next, and maybe that'll round out their draft. But at this point in time, I think definitely SSG has the upper hand in terms of this draft.
Yeah, okay, my bigger worry for these guys is that their laning phase, because they went for a Lich and Jakiro, their laning phase is going to be a little bit underwhelming as opposed to what SSG have. I mean, they have the Mirana and Shadow Shaman, arguably one of the best arguably one of the best combos, and now we get our 180A. Ladies and gentlemen, where is the popcorn? And we get a response in the Ember Spirit. Okay. Now we have ourselves a game, ladies and gents. We have ourselves a game. Oh, it's a Wally Batrider.
Oh wait.
So is it
Wally's playing the Batrider? Okay.
So is it an Electron TA?
It might be an Electron. Electron's going to be playing the Razor. But yep, Electron TA.
Electron TA. Okay, so Specs on the Razor.
And then
Okay.
Specs Razor. Okay. This game is confusing me so far, let me not lie to you, to be honest.
Wow.
Not entirely sure what's going on, not sure what's up. So let's just run through the draft and try to figure it out as we go along. We have surprisingly Electron on the TA. We're gonna have Specs playing on the offlane Razor, Boondoggy, the support Mirana, Manbear Pig playing on his signature Shadow Shaman, at least that makes sense, and Wally playing the TA.
And over on
Batrider,
over on Ignotus Imperium on the Radiant, we've got Speaker playing up the Ember Spirit. We have Wiener Boy playing up the Jakiro. We have Nighthawk playing up the Viper, and we have Glassnot playing up. Wait, he's playing up the Lich.
Wait,
Glassnot
what?
is playing up the Lich.
Okay, so it is offlane Lich. Okay,
and
okay.
Baboon.
Okay.
And Baboon is playing up the Wraith King.
30 seconds to go.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
we
Sure.
okay. These are some confusing Yeah, these are some confusing choices here. Baboon is usually playing up the off lane, or no, he usually plays up the carrier actually.
Yeah, Baboon's normally the carry, and then Klasnot normally the support. Okay, we'll see what happens. Let's just see what happens. Good luck, Haswan's coming out. Oh, okay, wait, I understand what's happening here. I get it. Right now, IL Ignotus Imperium is sitting very, very low on the table, while Tetris is, I think, 4th right now.
Yeah.
So I think both teams are just trolling around, saying, okay, it doesn't really matter, just trying to get through the game. So this try-lane though, it's not. It depends on what speaker decides to go on as his build, right? If he goes the if he goes steering chains build, I think they actually have a lot more kill potential.
Yeah.
But if he goes the slider fist build, I think it drops off like a lot. It's really gonna make a huge difference. So let's see what he chooses to level up first. Unless he goes stats first, in which case I just quit Dota same time.
Yeah, I'm entirely not sure what's going on here, but should be interesting. Nighthawk in the mid lane. Looks like he'll have an okay time. It's definitely a good thing that SSG Tetris didn't think of putting the TA in mid actually, because obviously would have possibly been shut down by the Viper.
Definitely would have had a very hard time playing up against Viper. Viper, one of the heroes. Ooh, arrow going on to where Fast Not misses though, doesn't catch him out. Now it's gonna be close. Now with actually Electron playing the TA in the hard lane, right? We know that Electron has a habit of buying Hand of Midas on pretty much every single hero. Do you think we're gonna see a Midas TA in this game?
It wouldn't be the worst game to get it. I mean, TA certainly benefits from getting in terms of heroes who get Hand of Midas. I mean, she benefits greatly from getting the Midas. Boom in farm, boom in levels. So we might actually see the Hand of Midas coming out for Electron.
Yeah, like you said, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Klasnot though is not going to have a fun time in this lane. This is not going to be a good time. They'll actually have a smoke rotation, man. They're picking Bone Doggy. They're going mid. They want to pick off that Viper. They want to free up some space for Wally. There's an arrow. Are they going to be able to catch Nighthawk? Ooh, we actually turn around. Another. He's coming in. This is going very slowly. Are they actually going to dive the tier 1 tower for this?
Taking tower.
And very sadly, the creep eats the arrow. And the first blood actually goes the way of Nighthawk. That is the best case scenario for him right there. He's perfectly happy. That's terrible luck for Bonagi. Hi there, boss.
Wow. Yes, Batrider did get the kill, but first blood went the way of Nighthawk, so he'll be happy with that.
And you can never complain when you get with three people trying to gank you and you get the first blood. Hashtag lucky creep.
That creep. Putting in the work, man. Putting in the work.
Nothing actually has to take note of that. Obviously, with a duo like Shaman and Mirana, you want to be roaming around as much humanly possible, right? But it's very strange that, sure, they got the kill mid, right? But that they haven't tried to actually kill Klasnot here. Because look at how far up he is. If they were to nail him right now, he's definitely a dead man. Shackles already.
And it looks like they want to go on him. There goes the shackles.
Long
there goes the arrow. The arrow catches him, and he's dead.
Definitely dead man. I'm surprised they didn't give the kill over onto the Electron TA, but they get the kill nevertheless. It looks like, yep, he's definitely going Hand of Midas.
Yep, he should be fine going up. The thing is, my bigger problem with the lineup coming up from Ignotus Imperium, their laning phase is quite weak. I mean, there's so much kill potential coming out from the tri-lane over on SSG Tetris, and you just saw exactly what happened. So in terms of what Klasnot is going to be getting on this lane, he's not going to really be getting much. So I question the Lich off lane in that regard. And then you look at the tri-lane coming out from these guys. Yes, they've got Searing Chains. Yes, they do have the Rayfire Blast and Ice Path, but in terms of durable offlaners, Raze is quite durable. You've got an Ice Path actually catching him. There goes the Searing Chains, and can he make it? He's taking Flame Guard damage, so he actually does take out.
Wait, is Mr. Speaker gonna die? Ah, they dodge it. I think had Specs turned around and hit him a single time, he'd be dead right now. Because of how much damage they stolen.
Indeed.
But you can't really predict something like that, so... Wait, actually, Specs, go. Okay, they're backing off. You probably could get a gun kill. Yeah, so like I was saying earlier in the draft, if he goes the Flame God, Searing Chainsaw, then they definitely have some kill potential. Slider Fist, not so much, but he made the correct decision, levels up correctly, and now they got the kill on Specs. Long range arrow, is it gonna catch anybody? Ooh,
Just
winner boy,
just missing out.
winner boy. Had that caught him, that would definitely been a dead man. Definitely.
Indeed.
Mid lane though, I'm worried. Nighthawk actually now starting to do some damage onto Wally. He has a Viper Strike, so if he chooses to launch it, he probably could get a kill right now onto Wally. Because Wally's sitting very close. There's no napalm attacks on him, and Nighthawk he's right there. Viper Strike going on to Wally, a couple right clicks, but he's right under the tier 1 tower. But he's gonna get the kill, take a lot of damage. Wally, oh, Bone Dog, he comes in just a little bit too late. Couple of right clicks, might I be able to bring out one more hit? He gets the kill. So now Bone Doggy, 2 kills for him so far, and a support, and an assist.
So that's a farm support. I just worry that Wally's not getting too much on his Batrider right now. But he, in terms of the CS though, in terms of the CS board, he actually is out farming the Viper in that regard. So yes, they're kind of slowing him down, but it's not the biggest thing in the grand scheme of the game, because you look at what Specs is getting on his offlane. He's getting more than an offlaner should be getting, and then you look at what Wally's getting. You look at what Electron's getting on the TA, and he's quite booming in terms of the farm. So they won't be too worried about Wally's progression over in the mid lane.
Speaking of offlaners getting what they should, Khlas not getting nothing in this lane. 2 lost hits. Like, it's really difficult as a Lich to try and go up against a child, especially with the TA and a Marana. And so now, there we go. Hand of Midas being picked up. So he's gonna start farming. So I think Tetris was actually fine with this game going a bit slightly later than it should. They're like, it's cool, we'll just get the farm on the TA, get farm on Specs, and start attacking you. But I'm not sure if it's the best idea up against the Viper, who's maybe building into a mid-game powerhouse.
Okay, see, here's the thing. If they can survive the mid game up against the Viper, I think they'll be fine. The bigger worry for them actually should be the Ember Spirit. If the Ember Spirit gets farmed, then they might be dealing with a bigger problem. I think their choice is based on the way the lanes are going right now. As I mentioned, Ignotus Imperium doesn't really have the strongest lanes at this point in time. So they're thinking they'll get more momentum in terms of how the farm is going.
They'll definitely get that. Now look, Bone Doggy, long range arrow is gonna catch anybody? No. Mistimed it. But it's kind of a zoning arrow as well. And he's roaming around the map a lot. He's level 5 already, even though he's been roaming this much. And a pause coming out. Puppy pause. Not sure if it's a puppy pause. Now Speaker, he has his phase boots, Jungle Basilius. Do you think he's building Vlad, or is that just a value Bessie?
Would he actually?
Or possibly the Ring of a Killer. He could be building Ring of a Killer. I think probably Ring of a Killer.
Yeah, probably a Killer. Because the thing is, a Vlad's on an Ember Spirit is kind of a mid-game oriented item as opposed to gearing up for the late game.
Yeah, he needs late game items. He needs that Battle Fury, maybe 2 Battle Furies, maybe 2 Daedalus. He needs to put out so much damage very quickly before, and he has to try actually avoid the Razor as much as humanly possible.
Indeed.
Mid lane though, Wally is not doing too bad. It looks like he's building his 4-star first before getting the Blink Dagger. What do you think of that build?
I'm not entirely sure that's the best item. Yes, the thing is he'll always have access to his mobility as opposed to what you would when you're going up against a hero like Viper. You always have to worry about not being able to use your blink. But I think they need the blink because it's more of a surefire way of initiating.
Yeah, they definitely need, like you said, surefire ways initiating, ensuring that they get the kills when they jump in. Now there's actually a smoke rotation. Bone Doggy and Manbear Pig, they smoked up moving around.
Viper Strike over onto Wally. Wally's taking a few right clicks. He actually does use the lasso, but he's definitely gonna fall down. So that's another
He's
kill.
dead, but bottom lane, look, Ice Pride going on to Manbe Pick. They bring him down. Static link onto Baboon. He might actually take a spill here. Winner Boy taking a lot of damage. He hasn't put him down yet. So across the board, 2 for 1 going the way of I think they're happy with that. They're cool. Losing a Wraith King in order to get a Manbe Pig, Wally, and a fair smoke rotation. They're cool.
Yeah, man. They'll definitely be happy with that.
And that's one of the problems with actually trying to rotate against a Jakiro, is that if you don't catch the Jakiro actually in the gank, the Jakiro or the Wraith King, the re-engage is really strong.
Indeed. Ooh, are they
Bottom
looking
lane,
to
Specs.
dive this? They're looking to dive this. There goes the searing chains and a few right clicks, and that's a dead Specs on the Razor.
Specs just died. I mean, sure, Electron's farming in the top lane, but his allies are dying around him. 6 for 4. They're actually the gold. So they have the gold here, obviously, because of the hand of Midas on Electron.
Yeah.
And they actually try to gank him right now. He should actually have enough money right now to buy his 4 power trades, which we should see him doing. So he'll be like, okay, it's cool. Inside. Got his power trades. He's sitting at level 8. Actually, that's really high. He's sitting at the same amount, the almost same level as the Viper, who was going mid.
Yeah, and looks like we have another rotation going mid. That's a 4-man rotation. Overkill, much.
Wally. He might actually last now, so I mean they're sticking napalms going the way his way. Long
Arrow.
range arrow. It actually clips him. He's definitely dead. Firefly brings him down. The kill with the Bat Rider. Now they actually want more. Moonlight Shadow being procced though. Ice Pot. Oh, Ice Pot actually catches him inside a lasso and a puppy pose comes out. Wally DC'd.
Wow.
That sucks.
Yeah, that sucks a lot. But yeah, okay, that's some game sense right there, because obviously Wally's he's, when you proc a spell you're not under the guise of Moonlight Shadow, so that's fine.
Yeah.
But he does actually create a block in terms of what Manbe Pig can do as well.
Yeah. So Winner Boy lays down the Ice Pot, is like, okay, at the very least, because he knows that there's no arrow cooldown.
Yeah.
So Boondogi on the top side of the lane. You can't really arrow right now directly onto Nighthawk. But Manbe Pig, I don't think this will. How much duration is left? There's 2 seconds left on the lasso that just procced off, and there's 1 second left on the Jakiro-san. So I think he's still dead.
Possibly. If he does live through the chain of spells, if he can get a Viper Strike out, they might actually get a turnaround. I mean, if you look at Speaker's still around. Yeah, Speaker's still around. So a few. Okay.
Doesn't have Slider
He
Fist.
doesn't have Slider Fist. Okay.
Doesn't have Slider Fist. He has his remnants, so he can throw them forward and try to get some steering chains.
Yeah.
But Manbe Pig right now, he has Hex, he has Shackles, he has a level 3 Ether Shock. Although Nighthawk does have mech, so this is gonna be interesting to see.
Okay, I have to question the decision though. If you're going to be playing an Ember Spirit who's going to be moving around the map, getting aggressive, I don't understand the choice of not leveling Slider Fist.
Neither do I really, but I don't know. Maybe as soon as Wally reconnects, Class not disconnects. Lol. Lol.
Oh,
That's
wow.
funny.
No, but seriously, I don't know. I feel like it's if you're going to be playing an Ember Spirit who doesn't level Slider Fist, then rather get your farm. Don't move around the map. Get your farm. If rotations are going to be coming your way, then fine. But if you're the one who's going to be rotating around the map, trying to get stuff done, then it's a little bit questionable not to level Slider Fist. And I mean, he's level 7 already, so at least a value point, I guess.
I don't know. Longest list, so I say as well. Yeah, I'm not sure why we chose to hit the third level into the Flame God. We could have went even a single level, like you said, it's a Slider Fist. It's really a powerful ability. I don't know why you would never level it up, but okay, there we go. Let's see what they're gonna do. Ice Path cooling down. Now they're going on tonight. They actually try to drag him to the top lane, and Manbe Pig just backs off. Okay, that's interesting. Now
Ooh,
they're going back in.
Nighthawk.
Nighthawk actually might take us, but Winner Boy gets hit with the arrow, but then we have the Wayfire Blast hitting onto Specs. This is a very, let's be honest, sloppy fight.
Very sloppy fight. Quite sloppy. Coming out from both
Check
teams,
Electron on the top
actually.
lane.
Electron's gonna
Gonna get to
take
tier one
himself a tower, and And that's a problem because Electron hasn't really been contested in this lane. I mean, you look at the net worth; he's sitting at 5K, 5.2 right now, and he's gonna get out of control very fast. You don't want a very strong TA in the mid game. Ooh, we've got an arrow flying out. Will it catch anyone? No, and we've got another DC.
The internet is rough.
Wait, what?
Okay, so the internet's like, I don't want to watch this game. Now the problem, like you say with Electron, is that he's getting pretty much uncontested free from here in the top lane. No one's stopping him, no one's trying to do anything against him. And there's 4 heroes for II gathered up mid. And look now, Specs also, he's gone bottom, he's farming as well. He's cool.
Yeah, so we got 2 heroes farming up.
You
from
guys want to
SSG
continue
Tetris.
doing this? Yeah. And there's pretty much no retaliation. Sure, Nighthawk is getting some asset, but having to spread them between himself and Mr. Speaker is not really what they want to be happening in this game. So I'm not entirely sure what the plan is at the moment for II. What do you think they're going to be trying to do with this, with the amount of people that they carry? Do you think they're going to try to commit to a push? Because there is level 2 liquid fire on the side of the Jakiro, and that's very weird. Like, Jakiro is choosing to level up the Jewel Breath. You don't see that a lot anymore.
Okay, I look at what he has. Usually the Jakiros, if their intention is to take early territory, they will usually get the full points in liquid fire, possibly 1 value point in ice path, and then get the full points in liquid fire, and then that means towers are gonna be at risk. Towers are not long for this world, but instead he's gone for the 1-2-2, which is a little bit questionable because they haven't really been getting rotations off. More or less they've been essentially counter initiating, which is why they kind of have the lead in terms of the kill scoreboard. But rotations have not really been their objective from the get-go, so I'm a little bit weary of why he went for the 1-2-2 build. But he does have 2 points, so it should help if they want to commit to a push. But that's a full-on tower, and I think SSG Tetris will be wanting to defend this. So that could be a problem if they do decide to go on it.
It could be a real problem, and they're prepared. The TP cooling is fully of cooldown for Specs and Electron, so they can come in and fight this. Another point on the Jakiro, in almost every instance, getting the 3rd level to liquid fire is in pretty much every way better than the 1 level into the dual breath.
Yeah.
Like, okay, they back off. Speaker goes top, trying to farm that up, and Nighthawk, he's still staying there, trying to do something here. Wally got his 4 stuff. Like I said earlier, I'm not entirely sure. Okay, sure, in that last fight that they had in the river, had he had the 4 stuff, he probably would have been able to drag Nighthawk onto the top lane, onto the high side of the river.
Indeed.
But now, everyone just chilling. Babu moving to a bottom lane.
Okay, these guys want to go.
Not going to be concerned about him.
These guys want to move into a stagnant game, or a passive game rather. I think that's. I'm not entirely sure who that favors because yes, you look at Ignotus Imperium's lineup. They've obviously got they've got a Viper which is more of a mid game powerhouse than he is a late game powerhouse. But they do have an Ember Spirit, and if he gets farmed, he obviously gets out of control in the late game. Once he gets to that point where he's got double Battle Furies, a Daedalus, and maybe one or other item. And they do have a support Wraith King, which is a very good late game support. But you look at Tetris. Tetris also have a late game powerhouse. They've got the TA. They've got the Eraser, who's obviously the counter option to the Viper in terms of the mid game, and then they obviously have another support who obviously works in the late game as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how both teams take it to the mid game and the late game, because they've essentially got counterparts for each of their heroes.
They've got counterparts for each of their heroes, and now Class they're actually very much in trouble in the bottom lane. Another problem that I have at the moment is that they don't have a Hand of Madness on the carry, but
we've got Shackles going out. There goes a plasma field. Arrow takes him to the face, and that's a dead last lost.
Yeah, he's so dead. But the point I was gonna make is that Emma Spirit actually might take us fall here. Mad fighting up against the Electron. Mr. Speaker gets the kill.
Ooh.
Very nice.
Flame
Nice
guard.
rolling into the
Flame guard.
Flame
It's
guard.
the flame guard. It works nicely against TA's refraction.
Refraction. Yeah.
Radiant's bottom tower.
But the point I was gonna make is that they don't have a
Dire's
Hand of Midas on their
structures
main
are
carry,
fortified.
right?
Yeah.
But Electron has a Hand of Midas, and no matter how well you're farming, you usually lose to a Hand of Midas carry in terms of just
Indeed.
pure farm. But then it makes it worse when the farming hero is
Viper
a
Strike
TA,
and Ice
who is
Path.
outlasting
There
you
goes the
but
dual
now
breath.
Ice Path hitting on
Wally looks to be
one more
dead.
poison strike. Dead. Now they're moving towards this tower mid. I think they can take it actually.
They
That
should
trailer
be
did
able
well.
to.
Okay, Specs.
Okay, he's gone.
Specs
Okay,
comes in.
Wiener Boy has gone for the second point into dual breath as opposed to getting the third point into liquid fire. But
Macropire.
but once again, he's obviously now skipped the macro pie on his level 6. So this is a very, I don't know if this is groundbreaking or if this is a mistake. We'll see.
We'll see how it pans out. Personally, I don't like it that much. Macropire is one of the best zoning ultis in the game because you can't. It makes it so easy for you to actually take a fight within a straight line because they have to
Yeah.
approach it at a different angle than you are. So
Indeed.
I'm not entirely sure about that, but hey, they choose to do it in any event.
Moonlight Shadow
While
going
moving
out.
forward.
Ooh, Nighthawk in a world of trouble. There goes the lasso onto him. They might get the arrow. There goes the static link over onto Nighthawk. Ice Path catching 1 and 2. There goes the Chain Frost. Chain Frost dealing so much damage. Specs is actually going to lose his life. Followed by Man Bear Pig. And yes, they do lose Nighthawk in the backgrounds, but they do take 2 for their troubles. And Glass not actually falling as well. So that's 2 for 2 going
Radiant's top tower is under
the way of both teams actually. There goes an arrow, but Boone may just fall. There he actually procs his reincarnate, but the flame break does take down Jakiro. So that's a 3 for 2
So
going in
that's-
favor of SSG Tetris.
Yeah. And they lost their off. No, when you normally look at it, you like Lich that, okay, they just lost the support. But you remember, Lich is the offlaner in this game.
Yeah, Lich is the offlaner, so yeah, it's actually a big win for SSG Tetris. They got 2 cores. Technically, they got 2 cores and they took 1 support for a core and a support. So they'll be happy with that exchange, and they're going to translate this into possibly a power push. And the bigger thing you mentioned, yes, both teams have late games, right? Ooh, arrow missing out. Okay, they both have late game heroes. Ooh, Hex going
Ooh,
on.
actually, Nighthawk might be in a world of trouble here. Is he gonna get caught out with the shackles? No. Okay, but here comes Electron. Electron wants to go on it. He wants to try find Baboon. He finds him, but Baboon just jukes the other way. Now, Wiener Boy, he has an ice pop ready, so he's just gonna proc it off, but Electron gets caught in on the backline. He eats a Wraith 5 blast, but the mouse strike hitting on Wiener Boy gets the kill. And then now they want to try to bring down Baboon as well. Electron it's probably not the best idea. Mech being popped off by Nighthawk. And Mr. Speaker actually gets a kill, but he's eating a big static link. He might actually die from this plasma field. He doesn't have a way to escape this. He gets brought down, and then now Klasnod, he's coming in. I'm not sure why. Nighthawk taking a lot of damage. One more right click should be able to bring him down. The blink from DTA cooling down. Specs, he's rolling in. He wants to get the kill. Plasma field cooling down 1 second. He gets the kill. Now actually not afraid. He might even go on to Klasnod. Mouse strike, do so much damage. Klasnod, no force stuff to get him onto the top side. They get a kill 3 for 1 here in the middle lane under the tier 2 tower.
Under the tier 2 tower. Electron might just be in trouble. He eats a Ray 5 blast, but he actually melts to avoid it. The ice path blocking his path of escape, but he should be fine as he blinks out.
Blinks out, he eats a creep with the
That
Mother Master.
aggression, man. That aggression. That was a
Yeah,
big win for SSG Tetris. And one of the things we shouldn't forget to mention when both teams go toe to toe in terms of the late game. Yes, they do have essentially almost identical lineups in terms of what they can offer in the late game. But SSG Tetris have the edge specifically because they have the Midas on their farming core. But on top of that, they have the Shadow Shaman. In terms of late game, they can translate a team fight win into a push more so than Ignotus Imperium.
A team fight win, he will equal a push, and they still have the mass up ones have just cooled down. They got the tier 1 tower with it. Now they might move to get another one. And now the Bat Rider also has a blink dagger picked up on him. So blink 4 stuff, it's gonna be really difficult to deal with.
And now they've got some aggressive wards going their way, so they will know. They have the strategic positioning right now. They know where these guys are, they know where they're not, and they can always work around that.
But look at the warding here.
It's quite
so aggressive.
it's very aggressive, quite so they know exactly what's going on in the map.
But now their game is starting now because Speaker just picked up a Battle Fury, 18 minutes, so quite good timing before the sub 20 minutes. So that's very good Battle Fury timing. And now he's gonna really start farming a lot. Arrow is it gonna catch?
Arrow catches him.
Mount strike, 1 hit, 2 hits. And he's a dead man. That was tragic. Bone doggy. That ward already putting in work, man.
Yeah, man. The aggressive warding, putting the return on investment is very big already, man.
The thing is, you don't expect a ward to be there at 20 minutes into the game.
Yeah.
Maybe later, but okay, right now, actually, they commit the mass open wars top lane, and they're gonna get the tower. And
There's
not
nothing
really
they can
much
do.
that I can do about it.
There's nothing they can do to stop that.
Denied it. Nice. You got the denial. Nice.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, I think that the other big thing, looking at the Razor pickup right now, because they have the Mass Serpent Wars, they're actually not committing a pushing Razor build onto specs. He's actually gone the proper fighting build.
Yeah, he wants to fight as much as humanly possible. Got his drums right now. Picked up drums, Ring of a Killer. Probably going to be farming into... Might even pick up a Desolator. I know a lot of sub-razors do like doing that. And then now Nighthawk might be in a world of trouble. They blink, lasso onto him, mouse strike, a couple of right clicks. They're going to bring him down. But Wally might actually be the next one to fall here. We have the Shackles going on to Mr. Speak. He might be dead before he gets Wally. Bone Doggy getting a kill here. And then now Chain Frost going on. Bring down Man Pig. Ice Paw. So it's bouncing around so much. Bone Doggy definitely going to die here. And then now Specs also in a world of trouble. Everyone picks on him. But Electron on the backline. He brings down Class Note. And here Specs somehow TP's out. But boom, he's in a world of trouble. He actually takes a double kill for a full 4 for 2. And now they're going on Winner Baby. Blink Dagger cooling down in 1 second. Electron jumps on the other side. Mouse strike. 1 right click. Ooh, gets with no ice path. Is there enough damage? He hits him with the Psionic Trap. 1 more hit. A full team wide. Triple kill for Electron.
Wow. I thought Wally TA was a beast. Look at Electron going ham.
Electron putting in that work. Now he's got his full Desolator coming out on the courier.
Oh,
and he got a tier 2 tower for the troubles.
That is devastating. That is quite devastating. And I don't know if this has been the storyline for every Ember Spirit game that we've cast, but once again, this Ember Spirit has the world on his shoulders, man, because I don't think the rest of his lineup can actually do much. I mean, for me, it boils down to them committing the Lich onto the off lane, and Lich hasn't really gotten that much in terms of translating what he got in that lane into anything that's useful going into the mid game. And then Viper right now only has his mechanism and phase boot, so he's not really a damage dealer that much. He's really there more so for his slowing ability and the Viper strike. But you look at what SSG Tetris has right now. They're looking quite strong. Wally's sitting there with his boots of travel, Blink Dagger, and Force Staff, so that's a very farmed Bat Rider. You look at Bone Doggy. Bone Doggy may have been a support. He may be a support Marana, but he's got face boots and Ring Killer and drums, so that's not really a support Marana. And then you look at Electron. Electron's obviously getting out of hand very fast. He's got his Desolator, he's got his Blink Dagger, and he's still farming up a storm with his Hand of Midas. So that's a big problem for II, and the world really is on Mr. Speaker's shoulders, man.
I think right now what they need to do is that they need to double back and get some farm onto Baboon, actually. Make him the carry, because right now at this point Clustnut isn't really doing much, and I think we've gotten to a point now where Nighthawk is probably not going to be transitioning into the damage unit you need. So they need to get Baboon farmed, put him in the jungle, maybe even grab a catch up Hand of Midas for him. I know it's late, but they might have to do that. That's the kind of thing that they need right now, because
they need farm on him. They need farm on him. They need some serious farm, and even aside from farm, they actually, I would even argue they need levels on Baboon more so than they do farm, because you look at these Reincarnate. Level 1 Reincarnate is so it's got such a long cooldown that they need it to be at the very least level 2 or level 3. So they need levels on Baboon, and they do need some damage onto him as well, but they really need to make sure that Speaker's farm doesn't get stopped at any point, because he's the only saving grace at this point.
Why have you not made your bed?
And it looks like, it looks like these guys are going to be going into the Roshan pit as well. So that's going to be devastating if they get the Rosh right now.
They're gonna get the Roshan very quickly, and there's not really much with that negative armor from the Mouse Strike and the Desolator. Not really much they can do. It looks like actually Electron building into a BKB. So once he gets that, is there any way that they can really fight him? Actually,
they can't really fight him because your Ice Paths are null and void, your Ray Fire Blasts are null and void. It's, I guess the only thing they really have up against him will then be the Viper Strike, which is pretty good, but it's not enough. It's not enough.
it's not. And the main problem is that if you're forced to use the Viper Strike onto Electron, then Specs can run around doing whatever hell he wants. Wally also will be able to blink in very easily. So. Another problem is, you know, that last fight, right? When they put out the Chain Force that caught on both Bone Doggy and Electron, the Ice Path and the Chain Force did so much damage, but Electron still on that blink forward. They actually dragged back Wiener Boy. He's a dead man. Now Electron blinks forward, already brings down Nighthawk, dead already. Electron taking a lot of damage, and now Macro Pyre being popped up, but the Aghanims is the Aegis or the Immortal popped off. Last month, very much in trouble. Baboon gets hit with shackles. The Electron blinks forward, brings him down. Baboon taking a lot of damage. Moonlight Shadow be popped up. I'm not entirely sure for why. Triple kill for Electron. There's probably an ultra kill. Ultra kill for Electron. That guarantees the BKB and probably guarantees a tier 3 tower.
This is probably a sign for the end, man. This is probably a big sign for the end. How can they actually fight right now? They don't have much damage. I mean, yes, the only damage output really coming out from II is their Ember Spirit, and right now that's clearly not enough because they can burst them down in no time whatsoever.
Yeah, it's very easy for them to kill him. They even pop off drums to make this tower push go faster. Oh, Electron blinks forward. He catches Nighthawk. It's going to be enough damage. As he goes in Mouse Strike, the arrow misses. He still almost died, and he just respawned. Specs though might actually take a spell from this. He doesn't have mech, but only now. Okay, he TPs himself out.
Ooh,
gets put in the Ice Path. But they brought hashtag worth. They brought on the tier 3 tower.
Ray Fire Blast catching Wally. Could they actually get anything onto Wally? There goes a Frost Blast. Unfortunately, they do miss the Searing Chains. Wally, can he make it out?
Electron with his BKB. Immediately melts down Mr. Speaker. Baboon next to fall now. And then now Nighthawk also taking a lot of damage. The BKB keeping him alive for so long. We know triple kill for Electron. This might be probably going to be an ultra so far. Blink Dagger cooling down. He goes into
the arrow
from the Ember Spirit. The arrow doing so much. Now Mr. Speaker has to run back, so it's not a dieback. Ultra kill for him, but they end the streak. 1400 gold going the way of Mr. Speaker, and that probably is his Chrysalis going to be coming out now.
That isn't that's not the death he was hoping for. Dying down to Mr. Speaker, that may just be the beacon of light that he needs. He now has a lot of damage going his way.
I'm not sure why he didn't actually pop off his magic wand, the Electron. Had he done that, I pretty much think he would have gotten a rampage.
Yeah. Well, he was hoping for a rampage, for damn sure.
He was like, come on guys, rampage. But another ultra kill for... I don't even think that death really matters, because he came in there on half health. Right?
Yeah.
If he comes back with full health, and he's got 3200 gold, he comes back with full health, his next item, probably building into his own Chrysalis, and there you go, he purchases it straight up. I don't know.
It's not looking good for the Radiant, man. It's not looking good for II. I mean, at this point, yes, they've got some decent damage onto Speaker, but that's all they can speak of. I mean, their Chain Frost is pretty much not doing much work, and the Batrider pick is actually quite devastating for them right now because with the momentum that Wally got in terms of farm, I mean, he got the Blink Dagger and the Force Staff in no time whatsoever. So with that in tow, every team fight has been started by him. He just blinks in, he forces out, and it doesn't matter if they counter initiate at that point because their fight is already disjointed to a point they can't do anything. But it looks like we've got a smoke going out. There goes a Viper Strike catching Bone Doggy, but Bone Doggy actually does make it out, so he'll be fine. Arrow going out?
Catching one? Nah. And the problem is when you dedicate that many heroes to smoke, right? Look, Manbear pick actually now taking the Odus on farm in the bottom lane, so
he's got a blink.
He's got his Blink Dagger.
He's got his Blink Dagger. He may be even going to his Ags at some point, and it's just dicey, man. When the support Shadow Shaman is literally above 3 of your heroes. One of which was an offlane one of which was an offlane lich. Then you've got a big problem. And you look at, and I talk about Mambe Pig. You look over at Bone Doggy. Bone Doggy is even ahead of the solo mid Viper. Ooh, looks like got a lasso going out onto Wiener Boy. Wiener Boy is definitely in a lot of trouble. Gets hexed up. Are the shackles there? Do they even need them? No, they don't. And he falls.
An Electron sitting on 20 gold. Looks like he actually wants to buy his Daedalus. Oh wait, that's sad. Oh, it glitch. Can't move.
Oh crap! Wow! What the hell?
Okay, so can he move now? Okay, he can move. He's cool.
Ooh, we've got Moonlight Shadow being procced out. Ooh, there goes the Plasma Field. Red Fire Blast catching specs. There are the wards committed as well. But Electron trying to go ham right now. He actually does move out the Wiener Boy. But the Reincarnation being procced. So there goes the slow. But they did pop the pipe, so there's not going to be any much magical damage coming out from them. There goes the Slider Fist. We got the Eye of the Storm propping out. They actually did get the Rax arrow catching Nighthawk in the back lines. Can they get anything in return for these? Mr. Speaker may just be in trouble right now, but he actually remnants out.
Electron are thinking about it.
Electron was definitely thinking about it.
He's got a Daedalus recipe, so he's probably going to be farming a little bit. So the next time they fight, he's going to have a Daedalus ready.
Ooh, that's not a pretty thing. Arrow catching, Mr. Speaker. Ooh, there goes the lasso. There goes the Red Fire Blast catching Wally, but that's a very dead Mr. Speaker. There goes the Macropia. Can it do anything right now? Not much anything. Wally and Electron going ham right now. We know boys definitely going to take a spill. There goes the Chain Fire. There goes the Chain Frost, bouncing out a little bit, but no deaths whatsoever in the way of SSG Tetris. So base not defended.
Base not defended. Now they're gonna just move mid, go to the tier 3 tower.
It's a signal of the end, man.
On the way.
It's a signal of the end. This game is almost done and dusted. I mean, what can they do anymore? They can't do anything. I mean, you look at their saving grace. Their saving grace keeps dying. So at that point, what can they do? Literally 4 heroes coming out from SSG Tetris are more farmed than the rest of II's lineup.
Experience graph sitting at almost 27,000
Oh my
gold
God.
as well, almost 30,000 gold lead.
Yeah, there's no
And
coming back.
against. There's no coming back. Might as well
is
just
no
go
coming
GG.
back.
They're gonna pop the cliff just to, make it seem like they're on a fight. But I think they know that this game is over.
Yeah, once these racks are
Absolutely
done, there's nothing they can do. Nothing whatsoever. They don't have enough damage to take down both Specs and Electron. And Wally's been so much of a menace with his lasso, man. That Batfighter has actually been amazing in this game.
Pipe being popped over. Now, Ice Pop catching only onto Specs and Electron actually, but there's just no damage. I have the Storm being propped off by Specs. He's moving forward. No Aghanim, so the Rack's not taking damage from this. But do they really care? Electron, he's thinking about it. He wants to jump forward, jumps forward. No strike onto Nighthawk. One more hit's going to get him killed. And then now we actually have a Wally catching Mr. Speaker and a lasso. Mr. Speaker actually might die again. They're saving this. If he dies, it's pretty much over. He's dead. GG. And now the Shackles also bring him down. And now Electron actually by himself zoning out the entire team. And now they're going to finish off this Rax.
Game
Absolutely no way
is
back.
done, and rightfully
Yep,
so. They
moving
call
on,
GG. Well played to SSG Tetris.
SSG Tetris bouncing back from a disappointing game up against Bluebee in the previous game. Now they win this, so there's still hope for them. They could still make it into the first division. Actually, wait, I think they're in.
No,
They're
they're probably in.
Yep.
But yeah, this game boiled down to, well, both teams to a certain degree had what could be lineups that could be get into the late game. But the bigger problem is you look at both hard farmers in the game. Ember Spirit didn't have the Hand of Midas advantage that Electron had on the TA. So obviously that in terms of farm, Electron was just booming ahead. In terms of levels, pretty much the same thing. I mean, look at the level disparity between Electron and Mr. Speaker, sitting at level 15
Look at the
as opposed to
GPM.
the GPM was something to marvel at, 732. And then the bigger problem is the laning phase for SSG Tetris and the laning decisions in general was kind of what probably did them in. I mean, they put the Lich on the off lane as opposed to having perhaps Wraith King as a core and and Ember Spirit could have possibly gone mid. I think in terms of their lanes are what did them in, because their laning phase was ultimately weak, and SSG Tetris just capitalized on it.
Yeah, so I think there are some things to think about in terms of how they're going to draft and lane in the future. But SSG proving that they just exploited every ounce of space that they found around the map, got as many kills as possible, pushed down towers, and just got out of hand too quickly to do anything about. So they just played better, drafted better, laned better.
Yeah, pretty much.
Nevertheless, guys, thanks for joining us for this game. Well played to both teams. I'm Snare from EAE Gaming, joined by SAD. Follow us at Twitter at EAE Gaming, on the Facebooks as well at EAE Gaming, and I'll have a YouTube channel where the VOD for this game will be uploaded very soon. Thanks for joining us, guys, and we'll hope to see you later today for the more games that we're casting in the DGL.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy your Sunday.